What's up everybody, JBookieGamerZ here. Here I'm going to show you a huge difference I've noticed in my PC with Tiny 11. I tried Windows 11 on here the other day and it didn't work out very well. It was very sluggish. But Tiny 11, surprisingly, and I'm quite amazed with this because these are the specs of my PC. I thought it was an i7 10th gen with the GTX 1080 Ti, but actually, it's an i7 6700K. I mean, not K, i7 6700 with 16 gigs of RAM. Now, I'm trying to overclock this processor, right? Because I heard this processor was overclockable, so I'll give you an update after I overclock this PC. I already overclocked the graphics card, the GTX 1045, and it's working great. One of the things I like the most about Tiny 11 is how very responsive it is. You know, like this PC now, I don't recommend this with all PCs because, you know, example, I had an old PC. It was a Gateway, my previous one. It had an i3 2120 with 6 gigs of RAM, and well, it didn't run Tiny 11 very well. But even then, that computer couldn't even run Windows 10. But if you have a 4th gen or above processor, or 3rd gen or above, and you have a graphics card and like at least 8 gigs of RAM, give it a try, man. Like, it's really good, you know? I mean, OBS runs fine. Everything I need to run runs fine. By the way, shout out to OBS Studio because, you know, this is probably the best tool I ever used for, like, live streaming and stuff like that. Yeah, so far my CPU usage is at 0.6%. It was at 0.8, so it's running good, you know, and also got a few emulators. I got Dolphin emulator on here. I'm gonna show you some. By the way, I couldn't get this working on Windows 10 because, you know, my version of Windows 10 was ancient. It was like 1507, the build number. But funny enough, as you can see, Wii emulation runs very smooth. I mean, yeah. And then I noticed a huge difference in gaming performance. I mean, I could run Minecraft Bedrock Edition at 76 chunks. Probably because my graphics card's overclocked. I'm gonna overclock my CPU today. By the way, I got this really sick looking skin I have over here. But yeah, that's awesome. Like, this operating system works good. Person who created Tiny 11, keep up the good work, man. This is fantastic. I'm hoping, what build is this actually? That's what I'm wondering, because trying to figure out what build this is. Yeah, I mean, what's the newest build of Windows 11? Hold on, let me go to Windows Update. Is 22H2 the newest update? Yeah, it is. It is the newest update, 2024. Wow. That's okay. That's actually very impressive. So, I wasn't expecting, by the way, I got some updates, so I gotta install that real quick, but so far, 22H2 is the newest update, and Tiny 11's able to update my PC, so that's good. And then also, one thing I recently did, and a lot of people asked me at school today, How did you get a PS3 controller working with my PC? If you want me to do a tutorial on that, let me know. I will do it. I went to a certain YouTube channel and I got a link for it, you know? And if you want, I could link the YouTube link in this video. If you want. So, yeah. Don't ask me why I use this. Why is this on here? Why is this on here? No. No, I don't like Edge. I don't like Edge. I'm a Chrome fan. Alright, so anyways, one application that's very forgotten that a lot of people, Windows Media Player is horrible. Don't use that. Let me tell you why. With OBS Studio, right, you have to change settings in OBS for it to show on your videos. Here's the problem I've encountered with switching NKV to MP4. If the computer blue screens, your data's corrupted. Well, if you do NKV, well, guess what? When your computer blue screens powers off, or if your power supply dies out, you could just edit the video and cut out that part and it won't be corrupted. Because you didn't set it to MP4, you had it to NKV. So what will happen is your video will stop at the part where your computer crashed or where you encountered a problem. Then it's as simple as taking the lost footage, that record the footage again, and resume it, and then edit that in to the file. When you switch it to MP4, you won't be able to recover that file because it'll be completely corrupted. So whatever you do, don't believe this crap on YouTube where people are like, oh, switch it to MP4, switch it to No, don't do that. Don't do that. Your video will get corrupted. Let me show you something. Even when you switch it to MP4, it'll give you a warning saying that it won't be recovered if it gets corrupted. That's why I recommend you go to NKV, press apply, and you go to VLC Media Player. This is a huge game breaker, especially with my old PC where it would blue screen on Windows 7. So I actually had a big issue with my old PC where it would, when I was live stream on Windows 7, right, because, you know, even though my processor was crap, it was still good enough to live stream. And, well, not live stream, but you know what I mean, make videos. Why do I keep saying live stream? I'm so used to saying that now. It was good enough to make videos, like, as if console gameplay, but now I have a PC that's capable of doing, desktop gameplay. So, what would happen was probably about 50% chance if I recorded on OBS and I was playing like the PS4 or the Xbox One or something newer that's more graphics on it, what would happen was my computer would stutter and then it would blue screen. That was a huge problem, and it was at the point where I had to go and download Tiny 11 and use that for a very long time. And unfortunately, it was very slow. But Windows 7 was so old that it just simply couldn't live stream, you know? Like, I even had to use, like, an ancient version of OBS called, I think it was, like, 18.02 or 19.02, something like that. That was the build number. My shout out to my mama. She was actually telling me, because I actually shout out to my mama, my nana, because my nana was actually the person who hooked me up with this PC. She's like, hey, I got this PC laying around. I got a new Mac now, and do you want it? I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I mean, I was expecting it to be something like a Dell Optiplex, but it turns out this PC's fantastic. And basically what happened was, she asked me, hey, I have this old monitor laying around. I said, because I didn't know she was going to give me this until, one of her family members came over. Her name was Michelle. So what happened was, I saw a monitor. I'm like, that's a nice monitor. And she's like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah. And then she asked me a question, because I hear my mom whispering to my nana, right? And nana asked me, how's your PC doing? I'm like, well, it barely turns on half the times. And she's like, oh, okay. So I didn't even know that she was going to give me this, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really grateful. So we fast forward 2 days later. Well, Michelle comes over and was like, hey, I got your PC and your monitor. I'm like, what PC? I asked her what PC. And she's like, the one that Nana was going to give you. I'm like, I asked her for a monitor. And she's like, oh, well, I thought she was going to give you the monitor and the PC. Do you want the PC? I'm like, well, yeah, I'll take it. My old one's given out. So funny enough, I go over there. You fast forward a day later, I go over there. There's a freaking gaming PC. There was a literal gaming PC just sitting right over there. I'm like, this is probably the luckiest day of my life. Like, I literally go over there. And not only she has a monitor, not only she has a keyboard, not only she has a PC, everything, she has a freaking surround sound. A freaking surround sound. That has got to be the luckiest day of my life, and huge shout out to Nana, man, like, huge shout out to her, like, and if you're watching this right now, Nana, I love you. Thank you very much for this. I love this PC. This probably I've probably used this a lot the past few weeks. So anyways, yeah, like, I've actually really liked this, and the specs are really good. A lot better, and I'm glad it has an i7 because, here was my expectations with what I expecting to get. I was expecting that there would be like an old Dell Optiplex, something with a Core 2 Duo or a Core i5 or some version, something like that. And it's quite funny because I was just talking to my mama, the day before, and was like, if she gives me a Dell XPS, I'm going to be amazed. Because those have 4th gen processors. Those have an i5 4th gen. Little did I know I'd get something a heck of a lot better. 2 generations newer with a whole step up from what I was expecting. On top of that, a graphics card in the system too. So, and also it's a brand I trust too. HP, I trust HP. Gateway is probably the one I used before. I don't trust Gateway. Gateway has never done me good. In fact, I've owned multiple Gateways. I've owned a Gateway laptop back in 2012 that, well, That one had a lot of issues with it when I first got it. It was running Windows 8. No mistaking, I love Windows 8. I know I'm weird. I love Windows 8. Windows 8 is one of my all-time favorite operating systems. Same with 8.1. So apparently what happened was I was using it the first year, right? And it had a really horrible processor in it too. The old Gateway that my laptop I had. It had like a Intel Pentium 4, I believe. And I don't even think the Gateway I had back in 2012 was actually like, I think it was a refurbished unit because it was one of those bulky laptops, but it had a Windows 8 sticker. But it had like a processor from the 90s, so that was weird. And then you fast forward like 12 years later, I get another Gateway, right? It's a DX4860. People are like, oh, you can just upgrade the parts. No. i3 second gen is upgradable. First thing, my Gateway desktop, my old one, the BIOS couldn't be updated. I couldn't find no BIOS update. So if I wanted to update through a third gen, I'd have to go all the way to the old Internet Archive. And trust me when I say this, I'm not going to risk getting a virus by installing a stupid driver. That's not going to happen. Second, i7 second gen, which is the official compatible processor, said it was the most powerful compatible with Gateway, the one I had, was first extremely obsolete. And then, the graphics card I had in that system was decent, and it still ran slow. It was a GTX 580 Ti, which should run Windows 7 perfectly. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, I have upgraded that processor and that desktop to an i3 second gen to an i7 2600. Honestly, if you're gonna go with a PC, go with something like this, right? An HP. And don't get like the newer HPs, because the newer HPs are not good quality. Go with one of the older units, the ones like go with an older HP unit like this. But like, don't get something too old. Get something like, a 6, 7, or 8 gen or above, And pop in like a GTX 745. You can pick those up for very cheap. Even then, you can play a lot of good games like Citra. I got Pokemon on here. It's a really good emulation device. Sorry about the dogs. My mom just walked in. So yeah, the craziest thing is I'm able to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and I gotta say, I've been having a blast with this system. Same with Wii emulation too. I've been playing a crap ton of Mario Kart. Another thing I've been playing was Minecraft. So, if you want to friend me, my profile is this, RalphSave4069 with a capital R. Don't ask me why it's named that, because Ralph is my favorite character in game history. First of all, let me turn off shaders, because that doesn't work. I tried shaders, but it didn't work, because, it's no longer supported on this version, the Pocket Edition shaders. So, apparently, now I turned down the settings a little, because, my PC was starting to sound like a jet engine when I had the settings turned up all the way. But funny enough, it ran perfectly fine. The problem is, I just don't want to blow out the power supply, you know, because, well, power supplies are very expensive, you know, and especially since I don't know if this one uses a proprietary one. But yeah, look how good this runs, man. Like, I'm getting, how many FPS am I getting? Trying to figure out the FPS button. Oh, there's a witch. Okay, that was not a good way. So the weird thing about this computer is people have been telling me, oh, don't go with the i7 6th gen, right? Upgrade to a 7th gen. Honestly, I don't need to do that. I really don't. People are like, oh, with the i7 2nd 7th gen, you could install Windows 11. That's lies. People say Windows 11 is not compatible with a 6th gen processor. That's a lie, alright? You can install Windows 11 on a 4th gen processor, and it would run fine. Because you can use this thing called Rufus, and you can turn off TPM lock. I just prefer Tiny 11 because it's very snappy, and it doesn't have the black screen of death issue, which Windows 11 has. So, one game I wanted to get into, which is one I haven't played in ages. I'm going to try downloading it real quick. Which I don't know if this works, but I'll try it. Apparently you can download T-Launcher. Or not T-Launcher, T-Mod-Loader, whatever it's called. Which I will download T-Launcher. But anyways, like, if you ever guys want to hear, like, computer tips or anything, or, like, tips about computers, because I know a lot about electronics, you know. I actually, trust me when I say this, I've been studying about computers since I was 10, alright? So I've known a lot about computers since I was 10 years old, because I've always had, like, a huge passion for them. Eventually, I want to open up a channel where I refurbish stuff, and I buy broken stuff from eBay, repair it, and make a profit off of it, you know? So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.